No matter the stadium, from one location to the next, athletes have been protesting long before the naysayers used their bullhorns to disapprove of the issues being raised. This has not occurred solely inside an arena or the pitch, but from sea to shining sea.
I do, didn't he?
Okay. Why do you think the players are doing it?
Unfortunately, one organization is doing its best to silence the athletes' voices, and that sport is Formula One racing.
I grew up in a sport that has really given my life meaning, but I've actually grown up in a sport that has very little to no diversity.
The sport's biggest star is this man, Lewis Hamilton. As the first black driver in the sport's history, Hamilton saw the human rights violations taking place, and thus he took a silent knee. He sported a shirt that read, "Arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor," on the track while taking the silent but powerful knee with Taylor's face on the back of his shirt. He would write on his social media, "Want you to know that I won't stop. I won't let up. I won't give up on using this platform to shed light on what I believe is right. This is a journey for all of us to come together and challenge the world on every level of injustice." Adding, "I see those of you who are staying silent, some of you the biggest stars, yet you stay silent in the midst of injustice." Fellow driver Sebastian Vettel sported an LGBTQ+ mask and shirt at the Hungary Grand Prix in September of 2021. These drivers are being muzzled by the very sport they represent, and per The Guardian, Formula One drivers will need prior written permission from the sport's governing body to make political statements from next season following an update of the International Sporting Code. F1 is essentially taking a page out of the NFL's playbook, where they gave a list of acceptable messages on their helmet decals. The progressive NBA sadly did the same, and those league-approved messages are seen on your screen right now via ESPN's Anscape. Former NBA player Mike Scott would say they didn't give players a chance to voice their opinion on it. They just gave us a list to pick from. That was bad. That's terrible. Boston Celtics star Jaylen Brown put it quite well when he said, "I think that this list is an example of a form of limitation. I think we should be able to express our struggle just a little bit more." This is exactly the issue, and what F1 is attempting to do and execute with its drivers. Under Article 12 of the ISC, which covers offenses or infringements and penalties, a new subclause has been added to Article 12.2, which specifically relates to breach of rules. Drivers who make such statements would be in breach of the rules unless the FIA, whose president is Mohammed bin Sulayem of the UAE, has granted previous approval in writing. In an interview with racing news outlet Grand Prix 24/7 during this year's Monaco GP, Ben Sulayem described motorsport as too political. An FIA spokesman said the update was in alignment with the political neutrality of sport, as enshrined in the International Olympic Committee Code of Ethics. It simply is not difficult to put two and two together here. The ultra-wealthy do not want athletes to speak out. Why? Because the issue will then be elevated. It will be raised to the masses. Reporters will ask questions. Journalists will dig. Athletes will post to their millions of followers across social media, and it will not be a good look for those with endless power who do not want those issues being raised. Where they're donating to, what organizations they support. If it bleeds, it leads. And what they're trying to do is put a band-aid on it. And what is the best way to stop this from happening? Demand athletes not protest. Tell them to shut up and dribble. That is the way to protect their own funds. Protest, by the way, is not a feel-good action. It's a powerful demand that we have seen across various sports over time. It is a call to action. It is an organization. It is labor. It is human rights. It is, sorry to Aaron Rodgers, speaking up for the voiceless, though he would think of it in a different way. It is not put out there to make one feel cozy, but to use their feelings of frustration, discrimination, prejudice, anger, what have you, to mandate specific change. It is supposed to make one feel very uncomfortable because the situation has been drawn out with uncomfortableness. The athletes should reject this. We all know that. If they don't, they become the pawns and allow themselves to be used and simply controlled.